First of all, a bit about Octopus, if you haven't heard of Octopus. So Octopus Energy is invested in by Octopus Investments. Octopus Investments has something around £7 billion of investment in the UK, not just in industry, but other industries as well, not just energy. So we're backed by a very large VC organisation. Before anybody asks me about the number of smaller energy companies that have failed in the past few months. There's also a sister company, Octopus Electric Vehicles. So we actually sell cars as well. So things like the Nissan Leaf, the Zoe, and other electric cars as well. So the two companies, Octopus Energy and Octopus Electric Vehicles, work closely together. In fact, I work kind of across both of those organisations, which you'll see as I go through these slides. No, it says 8 billion. I was wrong. 7 billion. 8 billion. Within Octopus Energy, we're not just an energy supplier, but we're actually quite technology-focused, which is why smart meters are so interesting for us. So we use technology to bring lower and more transparent pricing, better service, and more sustainable energy to customers. So on things like the service, we are the only which recommended energy company for 2 years running now. We won it again about a week ago. And you can see here we come top of the ranking. We've also got 5-star trusted review and so on. So we're very well known for our service. And if you look on our Twitter handle, you will see so many customers that are commenting how well we support customers with energy tariffs and questions and things. But that's enough about what Octopus is about. But we actually want to get onto smart meters and some of the things that we've done that a few of the other presenters have alluded to around our Agile tariff, which is a time of use tariff and things. So the Agile tariff is pretty much the first in the market. It is a full 30-minute time of use tariff. So every 30 minutes, it is a different price. And you can just about see on the graph in that picture there what a time of use tariff looks like. We publish this at 4 p.m. every evening for the next 11 p.m. to 11 p.m. slots, so 24 hours ahead. And customers can see that either in the graph, in the app, or as a table of data with the different dates on it. So from that Agile tariff, so obviously the next step is how we can connect things and encourage people to save energy through a time of use tariff. That's a closer look at the graphs. In fact, one of the things we do is help people understand what sort of profile you are as to what sort of benefit you're going to get from a time of use tariff. The other thing that our time of use tariff enables is plunge pricing. So there are very few occasions through the year when the wholesale cost of energy actually goes negative. And we pass that on to customers. So we will send messages and say, pricing tonight, because it's a very windy day, is going to go negative. So you're going to get paid for using energy between certain hours of the day. And so that has happened, and I'll explain a bit further in the slides about one of those events. So this is what a time of use or an Agile bill looks like. You can see here that this customer achieved an average of 12.36 pence per kilowatt hour for their energy used in that month. So that's an average based on their consumption in every half hour times the tariff in each 30-minute segment. This is an example of a day in the week when somebody used their energy when price was high. So the red curve in this is the time of use tariff. And you can see that it goes up to above 25 pence per kilowatt hour in the peak time period of 4 to 7 p.m. This customer decided to use the electric vehicle, probably as an experiment. I know who the customer is, and you can ask me afterwards. So it is covered by GDPR. And so as an experiment, they used the electric vehicle, and you can see that they actually achieved an average price of 16.36 kilowatts per hour for that. And then if you look at how their behavior has changed by reacting to that time of use and doing something different. So in this example here, they're now down to 11.26 by shifting their energy consumption out of that peak period of 4 till 7 p.m. And then if they try harder and charge the car overnight at the cheapest time of day, and down to 10.05 pence per kilowatt hour. This is actually quite complex for customers to understand. What it means is that we're actually sending customers on a monthly basis. When they receive the monthly bill, it has 30 pages. So this is one page of their energy bill for the month. Because we have to give customers that insight as to how their energy bill has been calculated, and they can start to see where their energy is being spent. When we initially launched the Time of Use Tariff back in February last year, it was set for a maximum of 500 customers as a research project, really, to explore the use of Time of Use Tariffs and to get customer feedback and to analyse the data. And you can see here the sort of benefit that we discovered when we did the analysis of the cohort of customers. So compared to a Big Six standard variable tariff, the full sample of 500 customers achieved £188 savings, and that's still a £45 saving against the standard Octopus 12-month fixed tariff as well. And you can see the figures there for those that were most engaged, i.e. those that looked on a daily basis at what the prices were doing and did things differently, achieving as much as £229 saving. But we also looked specifically at EV drivers. So from the previous graphs there, you can see that's an EV driver from the bulk of energy that's being used. So we could identify those and extract those separately and see the savings that they achieved against being on a Big Six standard variable tariff. Very significant impact. So we also mapped the energy saving of the cohort in aggregate. The red line there is before being on the Agile tariff, and the green line is where they've shifted their energy consumption. So you can see the shift across from the peak time of 4 till 7 across to that overnight, particularly emphasised by the EV chargers, but other people are able to shift energy as well. So they were achieving moving that peak by as much as 28%. We looked at the EV chargers as well, and their consumption actually moved by 47%. That's a huge change in the peak usage from peak hours across to non-peak hours. And we also ran the same comparison against the rest of the Octopus cohort of customers, just to see what the comparison was there. And again, you can see the difference in the curve, where Agile customers are in that green line there, and the orange line is everyone else not on the Agile tariff. And there's clearly a difference in behaviour across the Agile users compared to the rest of the Octopus cohort. And I think it's very interesting. It's very similar to the plastic bag tax when that came in. 95% of us changed our habits and stopped using plastic bags overnight because of that charge. And I think we're seeing the same sort of thing. If you give customers that information and the power to move their energy consumption and save energy costs, then they will. There's a parallel there, a similarity, I think. But of course, doing this has quite a lot of challenges. Technically, this is a very difficult tariff for us to implement and then to manage and to support consumers with. It is complex for consumers to understand, so hence the monthly bill has 30 pages to it, and you don't need a degree, but it's still quite complex to actually look at and understand and go through. There is a different impact on different customers, and we have to be aware of that. So fuel poverty and energy concerns or segments we have to be very mindful of and careful of. So this tariff is not for everybody to use. It is for those that are able to shift energy, such as EV drivers. It's very hard to give an accurate projection because the time of day price is changing quite significantly from day to day. It's a lot harder for us to forecast what an annual bill is going to be. And so customers have to be aware of that when they're signing up to it. And it does require a bit of consumer behaviour change. If you don't change your behaviour, you may end up paying more on a tariff like this than reducing your bills. So we did a few things, and this is live on our website, and you can see this now, to help customers try and understand and to agree what they're getting into if they're going to start to use a time of use tariff. So there's, as I click through these, you can see the 3 different profiles that a customer can set: a family home, a working 9 to 5, or a night charger, just to see an approximate difference in what their energy bill and their profile might be and whether this tariff is the right tariff for them before signing up to it. I should make the point that we are fully flexible, and there are no penalties for switching back off the tariff. So anybody who does find this is too expensive can switch straight back to a normal tariff without any exit fees or penalties and so on. And we ask customers to also go through a kind of a checklist just to acknowledge their understanding of the Agile tariff before they get into it. And you can see some of the points there. Can't do predictions. we need to be on a smart meter that has half-hourly data, so we need a meter change. The in-home display may not be able to present all of the data because of the limitations of the technology and things. So there's a few things that we have to be mindful of and we ask customers to be aware of. So it's quite important that we actually take customers through that journey before they sign up to the tariff and understand what it's about. Similar to Richard, actually, we ran a hack day back in May last year where we invited companies to come in and connect things to the API. So this tariff has a full API that will give you that time of use tariff data for the next 24 hours. It gives you all of the historic consumption information for the account as well. And so we ran a hack event asking companies to come in and experiment. And so we had people with washing machines and Alexa and the robotic vacuum cleaners and all sorts of fun, interesting technology that was being done. And that helps us kind of learn and understand the sorts of things that can be done through the automation of using an API on a time of use tariff. So one of those, as Richard mentioned, was If This Then That, which we launched back just before Christmas in December. So if the price exceeds a value, or if the price is below a value, or if my consumption has exceeded a threshold, then do something, which could be change my heating if it's electric, hot water control, electric vehicles if those are attached to the IFT platform, activate a smart plug or any other connected device, or even do things like playing music or saving money. So through the IFT platform, you can connect anything to anything within reason. So before Christmas, we had a Christmas play track playing on a Sonos in the office every time the price of energy went up or down past a threshold and things. And we published one applet in IFT that says, if the energy drops below 10 pence, then take money from my Monzo bank account and put it into a savings pot instead. There isn't much of a limit to what you can do once you start to connect up a time of use tariff in clever ways. So a question, on the 8th of December, does anybody remember the 8th of December? So the price of energy on a Big Six standard variable tariff was around about 17 pence per kilowatt hour. Any guesses what ours was? -0.1. Close. Oh, Open TLV, hello. Hello. Anyone else? Minus 2.31. So we were paying customers 2.31 pence per kilowatt hour to consume energy on the night of the 8th of December because it was an extremely windy day. So if we go back and look at my example customer, this is a real customer, this isn't made-up data. He has achieved an average of 2.29 pence per kilowatt hour for that day, the 8th of December, by charging his car when we were paying out the time of use tariff. So you can see at one point over here, he's down at 9 pence for a 30-minute segment and so on. So he took advantage, and we had a lot of people pinging us on Twitter and customer support and in the forum that we run talking about this. So that was the 8th of December. Christmas Day. So the price of energy on a standard price was 17 pence. What was our price on Christmas Day? What did it cost to cook a Christmas meal on Christmas Day if you're on the Agile tariff? Nothing, exactly. So because of smart meters and half-hour tariffs, we sent out a message on Christmas Eve and said, only to those people on the Agile tariff, we are going to set the price of energy to 0 between 11:30 and 4:30 on Christmas Day. And so all those customers received free electricity to cook their Christmas dinner. So our customer took advantage of that and achieved 2.03 pence per kilowatt by charging his car as well as cooking his Christmas dinner. So you can see the red curve there has dropped down to 0 at that time period I mentioned, 11:30 until 4:30. And so again, people reacted and were really positive about this kind of use of smart meters and the time of use tariff. So then leading on to a few other things that we're working on as well. Powerloop is a project that we're running along with 4 or 5 other consortium members around vehicle-to-grid as well, so similar to the project that Richard mentioned. So this is charging a car and then discharging it to the grid. We will include some sort of export tariff in that, and we're going through the process at the moment defining what this proposition looks like for a launch in the summer using Nissan Leaf cars and vehicle-to-grid chargers. And that's the next level of innovation. And again, very closely tied to what we do with smart meters and how smart meters work. So as Simon mentioned, smart meters are already ready to do export capability and things. HCAX, as a few people have mentioned today. Where's Peter Morgan? There he is. We blame Peter for the acronym, don't we? Home Area Network, Connected, Auxiliary, HAN. Yeah, Home Area Network, HAN. Connected, Auxiliary Load Control Switch. Yes. Quite complex technical term. The idea here, as both Peter and Simon talked about, is that when you are telling electric vehicles or other devices, say through if this then that, I'm sure Peter's going, no, don't do it through if. How secure is that, and how reliable it is, and can you apply any randomization before you affect too many homes on the grid network and things? So the HCAX is a technology to be able to pass those control signals via the smart meter infrastructure instead of via an internet connection. But that, for us, as an energy supplier, throws up all sorts of commercial and technology challenges and issues and things. So most devices going to homes are internet connected. So to have to kind of divide, well, I need to do some stuff via an internet connection, but I might have to pass this one specific control signal via the smart meter. How do I do that, and how does that work within a HCAX type piece of technology? And that's going to be a challenge that we're working through with Richard and with eMotorworks, the other partner in the project, over the next 6 months or so, as we work through what a HCAX device is. That's not just technically can you send a message from a smart meter, but actually commercially does that sort of technology work in homes when you have internet-connected appliances and devices and things. So that's going to be a very interesting project for the next few months for us. And so where to from here? So we're going to continue to innovate with time use tariffs and with smart meters and the meter rollout and so on. We're seeing the adoption, we're seeing the feedback, we're constantly being aware of what customers are doing with it. We run a forum where we ask customers to come and talk to us. I moderate the forum and often interact with customers directly in there about some of the things that are developed. There are innovators around. There's a couple I've spoken to in the room today who have used our API and created apps and front ends to explore the use of the data and things. Storage is coming up next. Obviously, Powerloop is one example. Home batteries is another element as well. And all these things have an impact on how we use smart meters and how we use technology. And there's going to be a lot more that we're going to do in this space. So watch this space. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Phil. We've got time for a few questions for Phil. Any questions?
Hello. Oh, hi. I'm Tony Duffin. I worked in sustainable energy for about 25 years. I've got a question about that flexible agile tariff and thinking about renewable generation and renewable-based tariffs that other suppliers have. And you may be aware some of the community energy cooperatives that own generation assets are beginning to sell their power directly to their shareholders and local people. Can your tariff yet, or is it going to be able to, rather than on a price basis, tell you when you could use power, but tell you when there is ample renewable energy, if that's what you want to choose, available, so you could then charge your car or cook your turkey on the basis of that?
Yes, so all of Octopus's tariffs are green tariffs from the beginning, 100% renewable, so they're based on that. So that's the first point. The second, there is an API called the Carbon Intensity API, and we're looking at how we can use that and mix that into time of use. So the tariff itself will be the tariff, but if there's that use of the Carbon Intensity API could be used in conjunction with that, and then the customer's got a choice of, well, I'll base more of my logic on that API instead of just the price signal. Yep.
Hiya, it's Matthew from Electricity Northwest. I'm just interested in the trial you did. Obviously requires people to be very reactive and respond to the prices you put in out.
Yep.
Was that a self-selecting trial, or people who were already interested in it, or was it sort of selected randomly? Predates when I joined Octopus, but I think that was all self-selected. We
we published the Agile tariff is available on our website now. We still accept customers onto it. There's no change. It's gone from being a research into a proper tariff. There's a sister tariff that goes with it called the Go tariff, which has a low rate between 11:30 at night and 4:30 a.m. for EV chargers. It goes down, that's 5 pence, and then it's about 14 pence average the rest of the day. So customers all the time are signing up to both of those tariffs, and sometimes switching back out if they find it doesn't work for them. But it's all self-selecting, yeah.
Okay, any more questions?
So further to the great presentation, by the way, thank you. Further to the Agile tariff, as you know, the government is intending to bring in a smart export guarantee, which will require someone with a supply license to buy electricity from a consumer, and that guarantee sets the buying price above zero. Do you think this is the end of negative prices in your Agile tariff?
I don't know what the Octopus official line is, but
I'm not asking for your business model. I should be careful about it.
Personally, I would say yes. I think, although we offer the negative pricing, there is an element that's a marketing position. It's there, but I don't think that's sustainable, because really we want to encourage use of green energy, and if green energy has got to pay us to use it, then that seems the wrong way around. So I don't know that negative pricing will last.
Okay, time for one more quick question.
In the middle? No?
Hi, I'm Anisul from Leeds Beckett University. I'm a master's research student. I have a question. Are those APIs to get those Agile tariffs, these APIs are exposed to only to the customers, or it's open for everyone?
The API is open, so if you go to, I think it's octopus.energy/developer, you'll find the APIs. The APIs are publicly accessible. Anybody can use the API to get the tariff information without being a customer. You don't need an API key. But if you want to get the customer's specific consumption data, then obviously you need an API key to be able to use that. So only customers have access to that. But if you want access to the Time of Use Tariff, you could have a chat with Cariolis, wherever he's sat up there somewhere. He's done it. He's using the API not as a customer and is getting the tariff data on a 24-hour basis and doing things with an app.
Just one quick question down here, Phil, and that.
Hi, Anise from Wonholmes Oldham. Is your Agile tariff available on prepayment meters?
Available for what, sorry?
On prepayment meters that...
no, it's not prepayment.
Are there any plans to introduce that?
Not that I know of at the moment. No.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks, Annie. Thanks very much. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.